So yesterday was fun, not only because the NBA Finals were taking place, but the fourth edition of the match, the fundraising golf event, took place yesterday. This is obviously the fourth edition. This one was between Bryson DeChambeau and Aaron Rodgers versus Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady. Of course, the very first edition was just Mickelson and Tiger Woods. Second edition was Phil and Brady versus Tiger and Peyton Manning. And that was the first edition, because now what they're starting to do is adding a pair of golfers. They're pairing a golfer with a well-known professional athlete. So last year's second rendition was Phil Mickelson and Charles Barkley versus Steph and Peyton Manning, and obviously this year Bryson and Aaron versus Phil and Tom. And first of all, the setting of this event at the Reserve Golf Course at Moonlight Basin in South Montana was just picturesque, like a mountainous type of setting. It was just absolutely beautiful. And it's a very difficult course, let alone for a professional. When you add amateurs like Tom and Aaron Rodgers onto this course, it's elevated 7,500 feet. So your balls are absolutely flying. If you miss it off of the fairway, if you don't get it in the fairway, you've got a couple yards on the sides of it to get it in the rough. But after that, it's pretty much just a ravine. So you're hitting from the side of the mountain, because that's how it slopes downward. So this was a very difficult course, but a tremendous event from a charitable perspective. They raised $2.6 million, 6.3 million meals for Feeding of America. That went to Feeding America, $2.6 million to My Brother's Keeper, to that foundation. So from a charitable aspect, it was absolutely sensational. And one of the things that I love about this event that they've started to do is that it offers a little sneak peek into the competitiveness of some of these golfers and some of these athletes in a different situation. You hear them all mic'd up and they're trash talking, they're exchanging different barbs and quips and uttering funny remarks to one another. You have Phil taking shots at Aaron Rodgers on the 16th hole about Tom Brady. This is the equivalent of a 4th and 3 from 8 yards at the 8-yard line, obviously poking fun at the field goal. You've got Aaron Rodgers referencing his calves and making fun and mocking Phil Mickelson's belt buckle. You got Charles Barkley commenting on Baker Mayfield's shirt, thinking that it's a robe as opposed to a silk shirt. So from an entertaining and amusing standpoint, it's absolutely fantastic. It's great television. It's jolly. It's entertaining. You come away with a lot of laughs, and it's all for a great cause. Now, the reason why this year to me, though, was so interesting was because of the pairing. You got Tom Brady and you've got Aaron Rodgers. That's what made this year so different, is that's such a recent rivalry between these two guys. And obviously Phil is hilarious and he's a big talker. And that's one of the things that's made Phil Mickelson who he is the fact that he constantly tries to take digs at his opponents. And Bryson DeChambeau, to his credit, I thought we got a little bit more of a sense of his personality. And he was funny as well. And not to mention, he launched a drive 480 yards on a 77-yard hole. Now, I understand that the actual hole was on a downward slope, but do you realize how far hitting a driver 480 yards is, even on a downward slope like that Bryson DeChambeau hit? He absolutely crushed that tee-off shot. It was absolutely sensational. But again, what made it interesting, and the reason why this was enticing to see, was because of the dynamic of Rodgers and Brady. And I know that not everyone believes in moral victories. But to me, this was about as close to a moral victory that I think Aaron Rodgers is going to experience against Tom Brady, because you oftentimes, sports sometimes has an unconventional way of exacting revenge, and sometimes an unnecessarily cruel way of exacting revenge. And so Aaron Rodgers, obviously we know Tom Brady just knocked off Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Championship at Lambeau to reach the Super Bowl. And so that obviously left a salty taste in Aaron Rodgers' mouth, and he didn't get any chance to exact revenge and to kind of vindicate that loss. And this was the first time that he got a chance to experience just a little sweet victory over Tom Brady. Both of these guys are extremely competitive, but you know, and all I could think about watching Aaron Rodgers yesterday was how badly he probably wanted to win. Wanted to win this match, this charity event. Because he's not going to get many head-to-head matchups against Brady moving forward. He may not ever play him again with a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And obviously he was very coy and unresponsive about his future with the Packers when he was questioned about that on air. But I think it was only fitting that it was Brady who missed a tying putt, and then it was Aaron Rodgers who won the match hitting a 10-foot birdie putt. And he gave his little Phil thumbs up and this kind of symbol, hand gesture symbol. And so I thought it was probably a great moment for Aaron Rodgers. I know selfishly, from his perspective, it's not going to reach the same level of satisfaction as beating Tom Brady in an NFC Championship game would. But I think this is about the best and the next closest thing that you can get to some form of vindication. And that's all I could think about. And some moral victory for Aaron Rodgers to go into this offseason, at least psychologically, against this guy. So that's all that I could think about, was the fact that here you've got Aaron Rodgers going up again against Tom Brady. This is obviously a friendly setting, but nonetheless, these are all competitors. They all want to compete. They're all competitive. They want to win at every single thing they do. And I think that shined through.